Oskaloosa City Council. Today is Monday, December 6th of 2021. For the invocation, we have scheduled Fellowship Bible Church. Is there one? Yes. Thank you. Would you please rise?
Thank you very much for being here. Let's pray. Lord, I just thank you for this day. Lord, I thank you for every individual represented here, how they represent this community. Lord, I thank you for their opportunity to be able to serve. Lord, I pray that we all have that kind of mindset and that heart of just being servant and servant leaders. Lord, I pray for the individuals that are on the council, that you give them wisdom and how to represent and how to lead. Lord, I pray for the individuals that aren't on the council, but that are here representing businesses or have other concerns that they need to bring up and present. Lord, I just pray for just good conversation, everybody to be heard well and understood. Lord, I just thank you for just where we live, how we're able to gather very openly and be able to discuss openly. Lord, I just thank you for who you are and just this time of year of just being reminded of what it means to be thankful and just giving. And Lord, may we all just live in a way that we're thankful and we're giving. And it's in your name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you.
Thank you.
Would you join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, roll call, please.
Burnett.
Here.
Calgary.
Here.
Dross.
Here.
Moore.
Here.
Addison.
Here.
Walling.
Here.
Yates.
Here.
Okay, thank you. Okay. First item up is the opportunity for community comments. This item is reserved to receive comments from the community for concerns whether or not they're included on the current agenda. The community is encouraged to speak before the mayor and city council, asked to keep statements brief, time limited to no more than 3 minutes. Any questions are to be asked of the city staff, the council members, or the mayor prior to talking to the full council, so that way concerns can be properly researched and perhaps answered away from the meeting. Comments are to be directed to the mayor and city council only. Is there anyone who would like to speak tonight? Okay, seeing none, we'll move on. Every year we spend some time recognizing the folks who have made a serious commitment to the city of Oskaloosa through their employment. And so I have a number of plaques in front of me. And so at this time, is Kim Weiss in the audience?
No.
Okay. Kim works in the clerk's office, handles payroll. Her plaque is for 40 years of service.
Oh, man.
And so I'm a guy who does finance stuff in my day job at Interpower Corporation, and I think about in my 20-some 30 years of experience the kinds of changes that have taken place, and I was blessed to be a part of the evolution where computers became pretty much standardized, and that's how you did payroll. Kim would predate me by many years, and I'm sure she has many stories to tell about the way that she got it done. And I bet she would also tell us that it still takes just as long to kick out a payroll as it did back then. So anyway, we do have a plaque for her. And then also Michael Calzaretta. There we go.
Michael's here.
Completing 15 years of service on behalf of the city of Oskaloosa. Thank you very much, Mike. We need to get a picture.
Take the mask.
Very good.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mike.
And hey, I get thanked every 2 weeks, by the way.
So Mike is one of those unsung heroes that's out there that, 15 years with keeping the facilities working for the city of Oskaloosa. You know, you think about how buildings operate, there's heating, there's air conditioning, there's moisture in these things, there's people running around in them, there's security concerns. All those things have to be taken into consideration by folks who do the maintenance. And so I think that he is truly one of the unsung heroes we have, and really appreciate his efforts. The next one I have is for Matthew Seville. For 15 years of service on behalf of the city of Oskaloosa. Is Matthew here? Okay. The last one is for Zachary Neff. Zach is doing 10 years on behalf of the city of Oskaloosa in the fire department. And we talk about changes that have taken place. And you know, when you're the mayor, you get interesting magazines and other sorts of things that come. And one thing that I've become more sensitive to is the number of changes that have taken place in firefighting. In particular, it was an article I was reading having to do with the advent of metal roofs, and how, you know, if a structure is on fire, those things are heavy and they're hot and they're hard to cut through if you're wanting to let the heat out. The next evolution that's taking place now has to do with solar panels. So you have the same thing, structure on fire, you need to get up there and you need to let the heat out. It's heavier because of you're putting something on what would ordinarily be a shingled roof. But now, what do those things do? Well, they kick out electricity, don't they? So now it's electrified. And so firefighting has to be able to take those kinds of changes into effect in the techniques they use to protect all of us and to keep our community safe. And so, Zachary, I thank you very much.
Of course, your dad wouldn't take a picture.
Does your dad know how to work that phone?
I'm not sure.
Thanks, Matt.
Settled in here. Okay, so the next item that we have is a consideration of the consent agenda. These are all items that are considered pretty much routine in nature, and they're handled all in one vote. There weren't any. Whoops, did I skip one? Oh my goodness, yes, you're right. And so also I was asked to mention, in a separate ceremony that's already taken place, that the police department's officer of the year is Justin Decline. He was chosen for the police department, and we congratulate him and encourage him to keep striving for excellence in everything he does. So we congratulate him as much. Thank you very much, Amy. So back to consent agenda. There wasn't anything that I wanted to call out in particular. Didn't know if anything was of particular attention of the council members. Otherwise, I'll entertain a motion for support.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Yates,
Yes.
Burnett,
Yes.
Calgery,
Yes.
Dross,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Robinson,
Yes.
Walling,
Yes.
Okay, that passes. Next is the announcement of vacancies we have on various boards and commissions. For the Airport Commission, we have one vacancy for a term ending in December of 2021. The Board of Adjustment has a vacancy for a term ending in January of 2022. The Building Code Board of Appeals, there's one vacancy for a regular member and for an ex officio member. Historic Preservation Commission, we have one vacancy for a term ending in December of 2022 and one ending in December of 2023, and two for terms that are starting in January of 2022. The Library Board has one vacancy for a term ending in June of 2023. Mahaska County Solid Waste Commission, we do have a vacancy for a term beginning in January of 2022. And the Municipal Housing Agency, there are two vacancies for terms ending in February of 2023. Getting into the regular agenda. First up, it's the opportunity to consider a resolution approving the plans, specs form of contract and estimated cost of the Iowa 92 A Avenue corridor and the US 63 Market Street corridor 3-lane conversion and C Avenue traffic signal installation project. City Council at the meeting on April 20th of 2020 authorized approving an agreement with McClure Engineering for services to prepare grant applications with the Iowa Department of Transportation for the Traffic Safety Improvement Program. The scope of the work on the project includes conversion from the existing 2 or 4-lane roads to 3-lane roads on Highway 92 or A Avenue, from Highway 432 to the east corporate limits, and on Highway 63, which is Market Street, from 350 feet south of 16th Avenue up to 2nd Avenue. The second part of the project also includes new traffic signaling at the intersection of Highway 63, Market Street, with C Avenue, east and west. City Council at their meeting on September 20th of 2021 authorized approving an agreement with the Iowa Department of Transportation and the Traffic Safety Improvement Program for the completion of the improvements as discussed. McClure Engineering has prepared the plans and specs for the 92 and A Avenue corridor and the 63 Market Street corridor, 3-lane conversion and C Avenue traffic signal installation project. It includes DOT grant funds in total amount of $639,000 for the project, and that includes $500,000 for the conversion to a 3-lane road and $139,000 for the installation of the new traffic signaling. Project will have an approximate start date of April 1st, 2022, and 60 working days are being allowed. So now's the time for interested persons to express opinions concerning the project plans, specifications, form of contract, and estimated cost. So I'll open the floor up for a public. Is there anyone who would like to speak to this? Okay, seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. Do we have a motion of support for this resolution?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? Roll call.
Burnett.
Yes.
Calgery.
Yes.
Ross.
Yes.
Moore.
Yes.
Addison.
Yes.
Walling.
Okay. Yes. Yes.
Boy, we're going out.
Good style, aren't we?
I was waiting on Joe. Well, we've given up, haven't we, Joe?
No, I still have my doubts about A. But there's 3 items on each of these 2, that's why.
Okay. So moving on to item B. It's to consider a resolution awarding the contract to Minturn Incorporated for the above described project. I don't think I need to reread that thing. The project was advertised and let for bids according to previous City Council authorization. 2 bids received. The lowest one came from Minturn Incorporated. It's in the total amount of $954,836.50. And that is 7% higher, $63,420.75 higher than the engineer's estimate, which was $891,415.75.
How that gets allocated.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. I assume the theory is that there was some cost to the community in dealing with opioid addiction, and so no doubt they'll want to point it that direction to funding whatever those services are.
And I think that would be right, some
Yeah.
sort of treatment service program, something like that.
Yeah. And so you're not feeling the itch to go after the pharmaceutical companies yourself?
Gosh, I'd like to. But
Darn, busy that day. Okay. Any other comments? Roll call, please.
Ross.
Yes.
Moore.
Yes.
Addison.
Yes.
Walling.
Yes.
Yates.
Yes.
Burnett.
Yes.
Calgery.
Yeah.
Okay, that passes. Gets us to item D. This is to consider a resolution approving and authorizing execution of an assignment of agreement for private development from Robert Burrell and Amber Burrell. So on September 28th of 2018, the city of Oskaloosa entered into an agreement for private development with Robert and Amber Burrell. The developer agreed to construct certain improvements, including housing units at the urban renewal area, and city agreed to construct public improvements to assist in the development of the area. The city completed the public improvements in June of 2019, and the Burrells completed 36 of the 60 housing units required as minimum improvements in the development agreement. B Avenue Apartments, LLC, is purchasing the property from the Burrells, and both parties have completed an assignment of agreement for private development. B Avenue Apartments LLC has agreed to complete the requirements of the development agreement as noted in the agreement for private development. The agreement for the private development requires the city's consent for the developer to assign the rights and obligations to the new owner of the property. The developers, the Burrells, are requesting the city approve and authorize the execution of the assignment of agreement for the private development. Do we have a motion of support?
Second.
Okay, any discussion?
I've been over and been in those apartments, they're quite nice.
Okay. And as far as we know, the B Avenue is able to carry out the development.
So, I might have somebody here too. There's still time to develop that, and if they don't develop it, so they'll be taking over this agreement, but there is a place in there that if they don't develop, then they would have to pay back a certain price. So it's gonna be the same agreement that we had with the Burrells, it will just be a new company.
So nothing new for us, it's just
Nothing
assigning
for us.
it.
They said, if it's leasing up full, the Burrells may help them with the future development of this, but the agreement does not change other than it changes from one party to the other party, so.
Okay.
Just a quick question, not that it matters, but in some of the document history, Hubbell's got their name, CBRE Hubbell. How were they involved in that, do you know? It says document created by Maxwell Colby from Hubbell.
Is that in that?
It's on the last page, right at the bottom. Not that it's a big deal, I just
I
wondered.
think that was their attorneys or their parties writing up that, assignment.
Okay, I just didn't know if
Because
Hubbell,
they had to present
it'd
the
be nice to have Hubbell in
assignment
town, so I was kind of hoping that was what that was. But anyway, okay, yeah,
So that all just came with that assignment agreement for them to take to the city for consideration.
okay, great.
Any further comments? Roll call, please.
Moore,
Yes.
Addison.
Yes.
Walling,
Yes.
Yates,
Yes.
Burnett.
Yes,
Caligiuri,
Yeah.
Dross,
Yes.
Okay, that passes. Item E is to consider approval of pay application number 1, which is a final, in the amount of $58,800 to TNT Tuck Pointing and Building Restoration LLC. And there's a change order, number 1, to reflect the final quantity adjustments in the Edmondson Park Masonry Work Project. So staff has received pay application number 1 from and it is the final from TNT Tuck Pointing and Building Restoration LLC for the Edmondson Park Masonry Work Project. This application is in the amount of $58,800. It includes work associated with the preservation, repair, replacement, and protection of approximately 600 feet of the stone stairs leading to Shelter D and the adjacent restroom located within Edmondson Park. This change order number 1, which is final, also reflects an overall increase of $9,800. Those changes were due to the contract price, included the additional cost for the purchase of replacement stone and the work associated with it. And so the breakdown is in our council agenda. Do we have a motion of support for this payment?
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Any discussion on that?
It's kind of a large change order. $10,000 to a $50,000 project.
Yeah. Yeah. Sean, do you have anything you can add?
Yeah, so
And you might want to come to the microphone too.
Oh, sure. Yeah, so this project was originally planned to be primarily tuck pointing. As the contractor got into the stone and started taking apart what they needed to from the surface, it was discovered that a lot of the stone underneath of that there's no way to look at until you get to it. A lot of that stone had actually failed as well. So the project was bid under the assumption that they would be able to do this tuck pointing and that the surface work would be satisfactory, but as it turned out, they had to do this additional stone work that was uncovered. I'd also point out actually that the contractor estimated this quite a bit higher than what the change order ended up being. Knowing the full scope of what they went into, they actually gave us a quote that their number would have been closer to $80,000 for the work that they did. So while this is a significant increase in the price of the contract, considering the work that they did, it's quite a reasonable amount.
I know we were quite happy with the first contractor. Are you as happy with this project as?
There are some concerns with some pieces of the work that they did. They did make some corrections by doing the acid wash that wasn't a part of it as well, but they recognized that was their own repair. contractor that we used on your initial project was probably one that we would prefer in the future if we have the opportunity, but obviously going to publicly bid projects, we have some responsibility.
Little bit
to
gets
accept
it.
bids as approved.
Thank you.
And I would say that they did make corrections to make their work satisfactory by the end of the project.
Thank you, Sean.
Thank you. Thanks, Sean.
Thank you, Sean. Any other comments or questions?
Low bid.
Yeah.
We pay for it.
Roll call, please.
Coniston?
Yes.
Walling?
Yes.
Yates?
Yes.
Burnett?
Yes.
Calgery?
Yeah.
Drost?
Yes.
Moore?
Yes.
Okay, that passes. Getting us to item F. This is to consider a resolution accepting the completion of the Edmondson Park Masonry Shelter D project by TNT tuck pointing and building restoration. So the construction inspection is done, and staff is recommending accepting the project. I don't need to re-describe it. We have a motion of support.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? Roll call, please.
Walling?
Yes.
Yates?
Yes.
Burnett?
Yes.
Calgery?
Yeah.
Drost?
Yes.
Moore?
Yes.
Coniston?
Yes.
Okay, that passes. Moving on to item G. It's a consider an ordinance amending the Oskaloosa Municipal Code having to do with parking violations. Fees associated with parking tickets are currently outlined in City Ordinance 10.76.030. To facilitate updates to these fees, staff is recommending removing the fee amounts from the ordinance and instead managing the fees through the city's fee schedule. The fee schedule is revised and adopted by council annually. It does include parking fines among other fees as assessed by the police department. So this ordinance change would eliminate specified fees and allow for parking fees to be revised as needed through the annual fee schedule approval process. Do we have a motion of support?
So moved. Second.
Okay, any discussion?
Makes
Can I
sense
just
to
ask a
me.
quick question? It has nothing to do with this, but, so when reading, I read this last time, I meant to ask it, so the way I read the enforcement procedure, if I was picked up for speeding, I could actually, it's within the officer's right to arrest me and take me before a magistrate. He's got two choices, arrest me and take me before a magistrate, or issue me a citation. I just thought that was interesting, so.
That's correct, sir. Every violation that we have can be taken care of at the jail. So if we issue a citation, someone refuses to sign, we can actually take them to jail and have them bonded at jail, but we usually don't do that.
It's going to make me think twice about speeding now.
Me too.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks.
Any other comments? Roll call.
Yates?
Yes.
Burnett?
Of course.
Calgery?
Yes.
Drost?
Yes.
Moore?
Yes.
Coniston?
Yes.
Walling?
Yes.
Okay, that passes. Gets us to item H. This has to do with the ordinance amending Chapter 1.16 having to do with the wards and precincts in the Oskaloosa Municipal Code. So after each federal decennial census, the council has to review its voting precincts and ward boundaries, verify that they comply with current laws. Staff completed an analysis of the 2020 census, determining that a minor shift of population has occurred between the wards and voting precincts over the last 10 years. The ward and precinct populations now deviate by approximately 4% and should be adjusted to be as equal as possible. And so a proposal made 3 minor adjustments to our current ward boundaries, resulting in wards deviating from the ideal population by less than 1%. The ward boundaries are also more compact, easier to describe, and the changes have been reviewed and approved by the Mahaska County Auditor and are expected to pass the Iowa Secretary of State review by meeting or exceeding the state requirements. So the council has to complete changes to its precinct and ward boundaries by December 27th, 60 days after the Iowa's legislative district changes become law. The attached ordinance amends the ward and precinct boundaries as described in the Oskaloosa Municipal Code and authorizes staff to submit the changes to the appropriate county and state officials. Do we have a motion of support for this?
Moved.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? Still think it's just an admirable piece of work. I love seeing 1% variance. That's cool.
I'm guessing Merrick Garland's not going to come after us now like he was Texas does.
Roll call, please.
Burnett?
Yes.
Calgery?
Yes.
Drost?
Yes.
Moore?
Yes.
Coniston?
Yes.
Walling?
Yes.
Yates?
Yes.
Okay, that passes. Gets us to item I. This is to consider approval of a pay application number 18 in the amount of $712,390.35 to Graphite Construction Group for the Early Childhood Education and Recreation Center. Staff has received the pay application. The amount of $712,390.35 is primarily associated with thermal and moisture work, finishes, specialties, mechanical and electrical work. And the cost breakdown is listed in the agenda. Boy, there's getting to be a long list of those. Do we have a motion of support for this payment?
So moved.
Second.
Okay.
With a grudge.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Reluctance will be noted, no doubt, in the minutes. Do we have any discussion?
Nothing related to the pool in this pay-up, is there? All right.
No.
Thank you.
That's what I look for as well, Doug. It's work that's been done, and they continue to work, so keep the work progressing by paying it.
And to all those that are involved, it's work that's been done satisfactorily? Okay.
That's my understanding.
Roll call, please.
Calgery,
Yes.
Dross,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Odison,
Yes.
Walling,
Yes.
Yates,
Yes.
Burnett,
Yes.
Okay, that passes. Gets us to item J. This is consider approval of a payment of $20,208.40 to SVPA for additional services completed on the Early Childhood Rec Center. So there have been additional services related and required with the issues on the swimming pool and delays related to the early childhood wing's substantial completion. SVPA Architects and Water's Edge Aquatic Design are providing these services on an as-needed hourly basis per the AIA B101 standard form of agreement between the owner and architect. SVPA provided the following description of the circumstances giving rise to the need for the additional services. Number one, the correction of work. This refers to Article 12.2 of the AIA A201 General Conditions in the agreement. And some of the work at the competition pool failed to conform to the requirements of the contract documents, and that will require correction or possibly replacement. The architect's additional work made necessary to correct this work would not have otherwise been required and will be tracked as an additional service. And number two, the substantial completion, which is Article 9.8 of the AIA A201 General Conditions, where the contractor failed to meet the substantial completion date specified by the early childhood wing, and we don't anticipate that they will achieve final completion of the work according to the specified construction progress schedule. So the architect's additional work is made necessary by these delays that would not have otherwise been required and will be tracked as an additional service. These invoices and supporting documents are presented to council for review and approval. The cost for some of the services may be charged back to the contractor per the owner-contractor agreement and the AIA A201 General Conditions of the contract for construction. Staff is recommending the approval of the invoices for payment to SVPA. Do we have a motion of support?
Moved.
Second.
Okay. Any discussion?
So these are additional fees they've already incurred. There could be more of these coming as we work through this.
and the Water's Edge is running through SVPA too. So part of this is Water's Edge, but this is basically the end of August through October 31st.
I don't know. I think I'm in the minority on this one, but I still have an uncomfortable feeling that they, meaning the two folks we're talking about here, didn't protect this as well as I think they should have, and perhaps I just don't have the whole picture, but that's my belief at this point in time. So it pains me to pay them another $20,000 when I think they bear some of the responsibility, but well, like I said, that probably puts me in the minority, so.
Other comments? Roll call, please.
Dross,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Odison,
Yes.
Walling,
Yes.
Yates,
Yes.
Burnett,
Yes.
Calgery,
Yes.
Okay, that passes. That gets us to the end of the regular agenda. Next up is items from city staff, city manager, acting therein. Is there anything to report?
oh,
That's another hat, ain't it?
This is city clerk.
That was
Okay,
funny.
and so, as city clerk, do you have anything? City attorney, anything?
Nothing, thank you, sir.
Okay. City council members.
No, sir, I'm fine, thank you.
Okay, Tom?
I'm fine.
Doug?
I guess just for the other council members' information, I've asked Amy to try and get us an update on where the developer's at with the post office restaurant project. It's hard to see what work's going on. I'm a little nervous about their projection of into February of being completed, and so I asked by the next council meeting if she could give us an update on where that project stands.
I noticed there was a mechanical contractor on site today.
Well, the lights were on. I think they were working.
But they don't have windows, so I mean, until
Yeah.
the windows get here.
I do have a question. Pizza Hut location, since Doug's talking about this, where's that at? Are we still waiting for DOT approvals on that, or?
Nope. They've got their clearance, they're ready to go, they're just waiting for spring.
Gotcha. Sounds good.
Okay. Scotty?
Oh, I just want to say to anyone who participated in the festival parade of lights on Saturday, it was outstanding. I was very proud to be from Oskaloosa.
No, nothing, thank you.
Okay, good to have you here, by the way.
Thank you.
Okay, Joe?
No, nothing.
Okay, Bob?
No, sir, thank you.
Okay, and I would ditto what Scotty is saying about the parade. The painting with lights, the parade, that's all part of Oskaloosa's culture. And there are some times when I'm always proud to be mayor, and there are other times that it brings me to tears when I see the way the community turns out and really is just a very rich culture and enjoyable for all the folks who are in the surrounding area. Not only the members of the community, but also those who drive in to see it. I get compliments all year long on the efforts that are being made to make it a special time. So
And
congratulations.
we have people here this evening who are responsible for the success of that, and so thank you to all of you.
Yep.
Very
Well
nice,
done.
thank you. It's a lot of work.
There was a lot of people out there.
And if you stayed home to watch the Hawkeyes,
Wrong choice.
I even asked somebody if the Hawkeye offense was in our parade, because they didn't show up in Indianapolis, but,
So the next up item is the opportunity to go into closed session.
The opportunity.
No, we're not there yet. Somebody has to think it's a good idea. So this is to consider holding a closed session under Iowa Code Section 21.5.1C to discuss strategy with legal counsel on the matter presently in litigation or in which litigation is imminent. Disclosure would likely prejudice or disadvantage the city's position. I guess I could read this either before or after the vote, but acting pursuant to the requirements of the Iowa Public Information Board, I, Mayor David Kreutzfeld, would state and indicate that the closed session to follow is to discuss strategy in a pending matter with David Dixon, the city attorney and legal counsel for the city of Oskaloosa, Iowa, acting pursuant to the contract existing between the parties. Do we have a motion to go into closed session?
So moved. Second.
Okay. Any discussion? Roll call, please. What? Oh, okay.
Moore?
Yes.
Addison?
Yes.
Walling?
yes.
Gates?
Yes.
Burnett?
yes.
Algieri?
Yes.
Dross?
Yes.
Okay, that passes.
Mayor,
And
I did forget one item. Can I bring it up while we're still on?
what?
I want to thank the chamber and the city for getting the nativity in the square. Appreciate it very much.
Well done. Okay.
I noticed the 3 reindeers.
So,
Hey, it works.
and as long as we're going off script here, I also had an opportunity to talk with Jane Nicholson a little bit about the recognition that she received and how she said she was totally surprised at the recognition
That's
she
always the
received,
best, yeah.
which is testimonial to the chamber because she's on the committee. And somehow the chamber was able to keep it a secret long enough so that when her name was, when the announcement was made, for the VIP to come forward, that was my cue to come up and to take her by the hand and lead her forward. And I can attest, she was very, very surprised, and then also in tears as things went on, very happy. So, job well done that way as well. So, with that, why don't we dismiss the audience for the closed session? Thank you everyone for coming.
God bless us, everyone.
Shut down.
We're back in open session. We've had a discussion regarding the Early Childhood Education and Recreation Center, in particular having to do with the backfill around the swimming pool. In that discussion, we have been given a quote from HydroClean of $27,000 to do the removal of the backfill, and then also a quote from B&K Inspections to inspect the removal of the backfill. And so with that, do we have a motion of support for Amy and presumably I to agree to hire these two firms to do those services?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? Roll call, please.
Burnett,
Yes.
Caligiuri,
Yes.
Strauss,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Coniston,
Yes.
Walling,
Yes.
Yates,
Yes.
That passes. No further business to do tonight. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned.